everyone, it's Pretti-Frontczak, and I am in Traverse City, and hopefully you can hear and see me okay. I've got the Grand Traverse Bay, I think, right behind me, and I thought it would be a great place to do Facebook Live from today because it's so amazingly beautiful where I am, and wanted to share that with wherever that you are today. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what is the active ingredient to early care and education that's of high quality. I'm also right by a road, so hopefully the sound is okay, and it's really windy. So I was watching a video, and I'll put all of the links to anything I talk about today in our show notes. So let me step backwards. So you can go to prekteachandplay.com/show notes, and maybe in a few hours, maybe a few days, depends on how quickly I can do it, I'll put all of the websites to all of the things that I might kind of ramble about in this particular Facebook Live, and especially for those of you who are listening to it after the fact, you will be able to go and download any of the links. But anyway, I was watching this video on what is simple and what is deep, and it was this really great conversation about quality rating indices and our systems of trying to be accountable but also promote quality, and the argument was made about what really matters, what was the active ingredient. So I thought I'd talk to you a little bit today about what I see as the active ingredient to early care and education, and what so many people see as the active ingredient. But before I talk to you about the active ingredient, I wanted to make a list of what is the inactive ingredient. So in this video, they did this great analogy, and I'll try to do it as well, or do it justice. But they talked about how on many food labels, or like sunscreen, or on toothpaste, or on different products that we have here in the United States, there is something about the active ingredient and the inactive ingredient. And maybe unfortunately we don't pay enough attention even to the active ingredient, but we really don't pay attention to the inactive ingredient. And so part of what I took away from the video was that we spend in early care and education, spend way too much time thinking about the inactive ingredient and not enough about the active ingredient. So let's start there, right? So I made a list, and I literally have it in front of me. And the things that I think are inactive, which might sound shocking to some of you, especially those of you who know me and know that I profess about assessment and tiered instruction all the time, I'm going to say assessment is an inactive ingredient. I'm going to say tiered instruction is an inactive ingredient. Class size is an inactive ingredient. Inclusion is an inactive ingredient. Circle time is an inactive ingredient. What you have for lunch is an inactive ingredient. Block play. See, these are all these things that you know I love, right? You know the 101 things I think you can do with blocks. You know that I love tiered instruction. You know that I am a strong proponent of civil rights of everyone to have and be included. You know that I'm not a big fan of big class sizes, #too many. So why am I saying that these things are the inactive ingredient to quality care and education? I mean, aren't they on every evaluation measure that we've ever dreamt up in the last 20, 30, 40 years? So the argument that was made in this simple and deep video about the QRIS, Quality Rating Index System, QRIS, was that without the active ingredient, the inactive really don't matter. And so what they said, and what I wholeheartedly, and so many of us increasingly are attending to, is that it's the soft skills, and most importantly, the relationship. So the active ingredients in all of early care and education, in all of quality, and in all success for any of us to thrive, as my friends know, is relationships. So if you're just now joining me, or if you're like, well, duh, it's relationships, my quandary is that we don't Peter Pan believe it. We don't believe every single day that it's the relationships that matter. We say it, we promote it at some level, but we don't really, what I call Peter Pan, believe it. We spend so much time doing the DLM, the AEPS, the Teaching Strategies Gold, the ASQ, whatever initial you want to throw out. We've got things where we want stars. We've got things where we want to step up. We've got things about professional development, tiered instruction. We want IEP goals. We want inclusion. We want to match the kids' needs to our instruction. All of this is fabulous, and none of it matters because it's the inactive ingredient. Without relationships, without getting to the heart and believing with Peter Pan belief that relationships are the only active ingredient, then the others are just kind of bystanders. They're just there. They don't really do anything on their own. So let's take something that you know that I'm very fond of, which is the AEPS, the Assessment, Evaluation, and Programming System. I've seen it sit on so many people's shelves. I've seen people try to put it into practice. I've seen people struggle to be authentic in their assessment and to be play-based, and all of these things are the inactive ingredient until we add relationships. When we add a relationship and we really truly want to form a relationship with that child or with that family or with that child in the context of that family, then the AEPS comes to life. Then it comes to serve us. Then it helps us know where our relationship is breaking down, where I need to meet you to better meet your needs so that I can foster your relationship, when I need to repair the situation, when I need to just calm the chaos and not worry about administering this silly assessment. So again, the inactive ingredients aren't unimportant. They have an impact, but only when combined with the active ingredient. They're sort of dormant. They're sort of on the shelf. They're sort of on their own okay, but they don't really see their full glory, or they don't have a way to impact the quality care and education that we all seek. We don't get all the stars that we want. And that's why I guess for so many of us, we struggle when a program gets all the right stars or all the right paperwork completed, but yet we still go into a classroom and we're still like, something's not quite right. And what's missing is the active ingredient. It's the emphasis on relationships. And I don't just mean relationships between us with kids. I'm here in Traverse City, and I was working with a bunch of coaches this afternoon. And what struck me so repeatedly was that our work with each other matters so much in our work with children, our work with the families that we serve, the associates that are our right and our left hand some days, our administrators that we find ourselves in their building and they have no idea what to do with early childhood, and we're loud and we're messy. That it all comes down to relationships, and that if we're not fostering relationships among and between ourselves, if we're not fostering relationships with our families, then we can't possibly be ready to foster relationships with children. So I just wanted to take a few minutes, hopefully you can see the bay behind me and the beautiful sky, and just wherever you are, just take a moment to appreciate the relationships that you have. I know that I appreciate every relationship I have with each of you, and you make me better for it every day. And to remember that that's the active ingredient. And so I'm going to work really hard to Peter Pan believe and Peter Pan act, then know that all of those things, all those assessments, all of those IEPs, all of those blocks, all of those circle times, all of those rating scales, all of those SLOs, all of those COSs, ASQs, whatever acronym we want to throw, doesn't matter if we don't have relationships. So that is my suggestion today, is to Peter Pan believe in the active ingredient, which is forming relationships. And so what I'm going to do over the next several days is just try to drop in some things that will help you form relationships. Maybe to return to the relationship you have with being an early educator, so just starting with yourself. Maybe the relationships you have with the families that you serve so faithfully every day. Maybe the relationships that you have with your administrators. Maybe the relationship with the kids. It doesn't matter, right? It's all that relationships are the active ingredients. So I'm going to try to plant little things and little ideas about how you can foster those relationships. And again, if you go to PKTeachAndPlay /show notes, I'll have that video that I watched from the Fred Rogers Institute on what's simple and deep, where they use this analogy of the active and inactive ingredients, and see if that kind of helps your work. And I'll put up some other ideas and some tips about how to Peter Pan believe in the active ingredient and not get caught so much in the weeds that we're worried about what's the inactive ingredient to quality care and education. So that's it from Traverse City, Michigan. Thank you for my friends who joined me live. Thanks for all of you who listen to my ramblings post the live event. I'm off to hang out with some fabulous child care providers and other brain architects tonight, and I will be sure to Peter Pan believe in my relationships with them as well. So Lisa, Beth, wonderful to see you both, and if you need me, you know where I I am somewhere on this planet promoting early care and education that's built on relationships. So, see ya.